Foreign Relations Committee will come to order. Ambassador Nichols, Ambassador Sison, congratulations on your nominations, and thank you for your willingness to continue serving our country as well as your families. We understand that that is a sacrifice of all of those who are part of the family in terms of this continuing service, so we appreciate that as well. At this pivotal moment for our foreign policy in the State Department, I'm heartened that President Biden has nominated individuals to two critical positions. I believe that your experience and commitment will be assets to the department and critical in the defense of our interests and values. I understand that the senator from Rhode Island will be introducing Ambassador Nichols this morning, and that the senator from Maryland, member of this committee, will be introducing Ambassador Sison. I don't see Ambassador Whitehouse yet. I know he's very busy in judiciary affairs, so he probably is on his way here. So let's recognize Senator Van Hollen first for an introduction.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman, and congratulations to both the nominees. Mr. Chairman, Ranking Member Risch, colleagues, thank you for the opportunity to introduce to you the President's nominee to serve as our next Assistant Secretary of State for International Organizational Affairs, Ambassador Michelle Sison. And in this nomination, President Biden has not only selected a nominee with impeccable credentials, unimpeachable character, and a deep knowledge of foreign policy, he has also wisely selected a longtime Marylander. I had met Ambassador Sison before, but my conversation with her yesterday makes me even more confident that she has the knowledge and experience we need at this critical moment in our history. President Biden is determined to renew American engagement around the world and leadership in international organizations. And if confirmed, I am confident Ambassador Sison will faithfully help achieve this goal. Ambassador Sison has had a distinguished career at the highest levels of the United States Foreign Service. Her experience spans nearly 4 decades and 6 presidents. She has served as our ambassador 4 times to different places, first to the UAE, then to Lebanon, then to Sri Lanka and the Maldives, and most recently to Haiti, a post she was appointed to in 2018, and a post which brought her full circle from her first diplomatic position as the Human Rights Officer at Embassy Port-au-Prince in 1982. Throughout her 39 years at the forefront of U.S. diplomacy, she has served in a variety of roles that have taken her across the world, representing our nation's interests in West Africa, South Asia, and elsewhere. She also spent 4 years as the United States Deputy Representative to the United Nations from 2014 to 2018, a position that makes her ideally prepared for this new post. She also has a long track record of collaborating with UN peacekeepers and has gained a firsthand knowledge of the UN entities responsible for development, humanitarian relief, and human rights in the field. Her superb talents have been recognized by our country many times. She's decorated with numerous awards for her service, including Superior Honor Awards, the Ambassadorial Level Awards for her contributions to counterproliferation and combating trafficking in persons, and she has received both a Distinguished Service Award and the Presidential Rank Award of Meritorious Service. Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, I could go on, but it would consume the entire hearing, so let me end with this. I grew up in a foreign service family and lived in some of the countries where Ambassador Sison has served. I know a good diplomat when I see one, and Ambassador Sison fits the bill. She exemplifies the very best of what it means to serve our country as a career Foreign Service officer. I urge the committee to support her nomination.
Thank you, Senator Van Hollen. And after that sterling recommendation, Ambassador, maybe you should just rest your case. But we're not going to let you off that easy. At any event, thank you, Senator Van Hollen. I understand that Senator Whitehouse is with us virtually.
I am, Chairman.
Please proceed. Welcome.
Thank you, Chairman Menendez, and thank you, Ranking Member Risch, for welcoming me to your committee today. Like Senator Van Hollen, I come from a Foreign Service family I'm the black sheep in a family of a grandfather, father, uncle, and cousin who were all foreign service officers. So it gives me particular pleasure to be here to recommend a career foreign service officer and a native Rhode Islander, Brian Nichols, as the nominee for Assistant Secretary of State for Western Hemisphere Affairs. My father served for decades, not exactly on the Champagne circuit, but in countries embroiled in conflict and upheaval, where the comforts and security of America often felt very far away. But he always felt he was doing rewarding and deeply important work. Brian Nichols has had a similar career, serving in challenging State Department roles in South and Central America, Southeast Asia, and Africa. He has won department honors for his contributions to state's trade development mission and helped lead the department's international narcotics and law enforcement work. He has been our United States ambassador to both Peru and Zimbabwe, a country emerging from decades of dictatorial rule and dire economic hardship. So he knows the ropes, and he has skills developed in our small, tight-knit, and diverse state. Rhode Islanders have, I think, a unusual ability to reach beyond seeming difference and even simmering enmity to find shared values and common humanity. And Ambassador Nichols is a shining example of that skill. Building consensus is as simple, he says, as understanding people, a very Rhode Island quality, a very diplomatic quality, and one which Ambassador Nichols has demonstrated throughout his distinguished career. I'm confident that if we confirm his nomination, he will serve all Americans well and make us proud. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Whitehouse, for your introduction of Ambassador Nichols. Ambassador Nichols, your nomination comes at a time when the Western Hemisphere is reeling under a cascade of challenges. The devastation wrought by COVID-19, the fraying of democratic consensus, major migration crises, and a void of 4 years of American absence that China is seeking to fill. The task at hand is immense. With death rates among the highest in the world, COVID-19 is inflicting a terrible toll on the hemisphere, and the United States has to step up. As we accumulate surplus vaccines, we must prioritize vaccine access for countries in the hemisphere as part of our global efforts to ensure that the most vulnerable are vaccinated. And as the region's economic health has a direct impact on the United States, we have to take bold steps to facilitate its recovery. That's why this committee voted to authorize a capital increase for the Inter-American Development Bank last month. Additionally, Latin America is facing the recurrence of flawed elections, deterioration in the separation of powers, attacks on journalists and freedom of the press, and entrenched autocrats in Havana, Caracas, and Managua. Indeed, we know where democratic decay can lead. After 2 decades, Venezuela is now a land of unbridled criminality and kleptocracy, where a humanitarian crisis has forced more than 5 million people to flee their homeland. While the scale is distinct, we also know that irregular migration from Central America is rooted in decades of low levels of democratic governance. Deficient institutions are unable to meet the needs of the people, and too many leaders have exploited weak rule of law to place their personal interests over those of their citizens. Given the scale of the challenge, I'm pleased to see that Vice President Harris is heading the administration's diplomatic efforts in Central America. Under her leadership, we're already seeing an increased humanitarian response and a strong reaction to leaders that seek to undermine democracy. So, Ambassador Nichols, I look forward to discussing with you. I appreciate our visit yesterday. We had a whole tour de force of the Western Hemisphere, and we look forward to discussing with you how we'll address some of these challenges and best to collaborate to ensure your success. Ambassador Sisson, Sisson. I don't know why it's in my mind, but Ambassador Sisson, I apologize. Welcome to your 6th Senate confirmation hearing. It's deeply reassuring that President Biden nominated you, a diplomat with extensive experience, immense skill, and a demonstrated management record to be the next Assistant Secretary for the Bureau of International Organization Affairs. Over the course of the Trump administration, we witnessed a dramatic and troubling erosion of U.S. government leadership at the UN. We tried to pull out of the World Health Organization in the middle of a pandemic. We undermined international protections for women, girls, and LGBTI individuals, and we defunded or reduced funding to key agencies. We refused to pay our dues in full to UN peacekeeping operations, and as a result, the United States has accrued $1.1 billion in arrears. When we shun our responsibilities and fail to lead, other countries take note and seek to take advantage to the detriment of our interests and security. China and Russia have sought to fill the vacuum left by our absence. It's time for renewal and engagement with the United Nations and its agencies like the World Food Program and UNFPA. In the wake of the devastating COVID-19 pandemic, we must redouble the Biden administration's effort at restoring U.S. leadership at the WHO and other international health and humanitarian organizations. The world will be closely watching how we more effectively engage within and work to strengthen international organizations. So I look forward to hearing your views and working with you to ensure we restore our critical leadership role. In closing, at a time of unprecedented challenges around the world, America needs outstanding leadership at the State Department. We look forward to your testimony, and now let me turn to the distinguished ranking member for his remarks.